Good morning. On this wonderful, beautiful spring morning here in southern Arizona. Welcome to Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm especially happy to be here today to welcome you all because I haven't been here for 4 weeks, partially due to my travels to South America and partially due to a wicked, yes, I'm from Massachusetts, a wicked cold I picked up while I was there. Last week, I participated on Zoom and realized how nice it is to be greeted and to have a brief glimpse of the congregation in the sanctuary. So let's take a minute to turn and wave to the camera and greet those at home as they in turn wave to us. Good morning, everyone. Next, a question. Is there someone sitting near you whom you do not know or have not greeted before? Take a minute to identify this person. Okay, and now take another minute to greet this person. They didn't need the cue. I hope you use this opportunity to establish a new connection that you might pursue during coffee hour or elsewhere. Today's service is all about giving thanks and being thankful as we push play for MVUU once again. I'd like to start by thanking the people who make this service possible. Our crack AV crew, consisting, of course, of Lee and Todd McNeely. Laurie Rayfeld, Alex Stuckey are there today in the booth with them, and Bob Seifried on camera. And those folks who greeted you as you arrived today, we thank our greeters. And the folks who prepare the drinks and snacks we will enjoy after the service, our thanks go out to the hospitality crew. And I'm sure that you'll agree with me that one of the strengths of our services is the music provided by Chris Tackett with help from Joel, and of course today the choir. I didn't even need to say kudos, you just picked up on that right away. And today I'd like to thank two other groups of people who have been working tirelessly, but perhaps less obviously. First of all, our board. I know from both first and secondhand experience how much time is required of this dedicated bunch to make this church run efficiently while also planning for the future. We are grateful for your service and commitment. And secondly, our stewards. They've been working diligently to contact all our members to talk about their commitment to the church and their financial support of our endeavors. Thank you to all who have been part of this process. In preparing for today's service, I asked myself the question, why am I thankful for MVUU? There are so many reasons. Not to be outdone by Tom, I need to mention that we connected at MVUU at an MVUU event at the Paul's House 7 years ago and had a commitment ceremony with the Reverend Ron Farris 7 months later. I thank those who were around then to support the development of our relationship and welcome us as a couple. I still clearly remember the collective gasp that went through the congregation the first time that Tom put his arm around me during a service, back in the triple wide. Excuse me, MVUU is a huge part of my life. I am thankful for the many good friends I have made here through my involvement with the choir, the book group, Mahjong, and very importantly, Dance to Heal, as well as other groups and committees. These human connections have greatly enriched my life and brought me from a place of extreme loneliness to feeling loved and appreciated. I am also thankful for the confidence this congregation has placed in me as co-chair of the Ambiance Committee, who is responsible for decorating and furnishing this building, as vice president, and now as a lead pastoral associate. But there's something else, something that is a little more nebulous and harder to express. I'm an academic at heart, so I'm grateful for the continuing intellectual challenge that this church provides me. I am challenged to find meaningful things to share every time I am up here as a PA, and especially when I design a service. I am challenged by the books I read and the homework assignments that are given to the PAs. I am challenged by the content of our services. I almost always leave with something to chew over during the week, and I often digest that in my journal. I'm grateful to have a place where I can express my thoughts and ideas without fear of being snickered at or dismissed. And last but not least, I am very grateful for the love that permeates this congregation. Because I receive so much from MVUU, I've given generously of my time, talent, and treasure. If you have not yet made your pledge, I hope you will consider the role that MVUU plays in your life and donate accordingly. Thank you, MVUU, for all that you are to me. The words for our chalice lighting today are by Michael R. Leduc. May we look with gratitude upon this day for the beauty of the world, for the first radiance of dawn, and the last smoldering glow of sunset. Let us be thankful for physical joys, for hills to climb and hard work to do, for music that lifts our hearts in one breath, for the hand clasp of a friend or a hug, and for the gracious loveliness of children who remind us of the wonders of life. May we be appreciative above all for the concern and love of those around us, for the exceeding bliss of the touch of the sacred, which suddenly awakes our drowsy souls to the blessed awareness of the divine within us and within others. For this, and for all the countless other blessings present in our life, let us be grateful. Amen.
Our opening hymn is Break Not the Circle, number 323, and the words will be projected. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and follow Joel's lead. I invite you to a time of contemplation, of considering and pondering a circle, a sacred geometry. In her prayer for a pledge campaign, the Reverend Dr. Victoria Weinstein writes, "In our rushing and our doing, may we not forget whose we are and what we truly are." And here she quotes the Jesuit priest Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." Out of this truth, the Reverend Dr. William Sinkford sketches a circle of our faith tradition. We are a people with a spiritual center and a civic circumference. We are a people with a spiritual center and a civic circumference. It is our inheritance, the generous gift of spiritual teachers, generation past and present here this morning. Words and actions that offer us the choice to make this truth our future. Should we choose it to be, this can be our future. Our faith tradition invites each and all to a voluntary participation in covenant. There is no coercion, no condemnation of your soul, no promises of earthly abundance offered here, just an invitation to join in the circle of a faith community. Bring your beliefs, bring your experience, bring your part of the truth. Join from the center, bringing what has been revealed to you through life. Join from the periphery, bringing your experience of the world, its many blessings, and its injustice. Join a community, learning our mission to build an open-hearted, welcoming community where we work together in covenant to transform ourselves and our world through love. We gather in a circle, but not just for ourselves alone. Although there is here rest, there is here healing from the many wounds of injustice, we are here too to sing and to dance in praise of the blessings, but we gather in a circle that is widening beyond our individual lives. It's a circle in relationship with many in this room and present on Zoom. We gather with those who have come and have gone, with those who were yet to come, generations past and future, whose names and faces we might never know. We gather with the beings of this earth, the animals and the plants, the elements which sustain the air and the water and the rock, and the energy that enlivens, fire, electricity, light. It extends us beyond ourselves into the cosmos. A widening circle of relationship to the present and the past and the future and the world and the farthest reaches of our senses and of our imaginations. In all of the heat and the dust of the day, let us not forget whose we are, what we truly are. And may we live it now and in our days to come. May it be so. In the following affirmation, Debbie and I will share reading a statement, and when we're done, we will invite you to join us in responding with words of affirmation. All of this will be projected. We are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Together, we cultivate our inner light and honor the divine within and among others. We are spiritual beings. We are human beings having a spiritual experience.
Together, we embrace the inherent worth of every individual, and we celebrate our many differences.
We are human beings.
We are a people of faith with a spiritual center and a civic circumference.
Together, we root ourselves in the sacred while extending our reach into the world with our actions. We are a people of engagement, acting in the world with love towards transformation.
Together, we seek to alleviate suffering and work for a world where all are treated with dignity and respect.
We are a people of engagement.
Together, we find our spiritual center.
Together, we engage in humane action. In between, we live. In between, we love.
The anthem the choir is about to sing is pretty self-explanatory. You don't need me to tell you much of anything about it. It's a beautiful piece by Elizabeth Alexander, who is a wonderful UU composer. Do not leave your cares at the door. But as always, I just want to say a huge thank you to all these wonderful people getting into place up behind me. I told them I really want them to feel like, oh, Chris, shut up already. when they keep hearing me say it, but I am genuine and I appreciate every single one of you and the time you come and put in for this, for us. So thank you. And also, Wednesday evenings, 6:30? Y'all are welcome too.
If I thought the hospitality team was ready, I would say we're done for the day. Thank you so, so much. Join me in a time of meditation, interwoven with the words by the Reverend Peter Morales, past president of our Unitarian Universalist Association. And breathe. Breathe as your body allows, here in this room, there in your homes. Just breathe. And feel your body. Reverend Morales asks us, what does deep spirituality feel like to you? What is deep spirituality feel like to you? And breathe. And feel yourself supported by all that is around you. Spirituality is impossible to define and difficult to describe, he says. For me, it feels like connection. Connection to myself, to others around me, to earth, and all of creation. Breathe and feel your connection. Connection to others feels like compassion, community, acceptance, and enduring love. Spirituality is not an idea, it is an experience. When I experience connection, dividing lines disappear. Inner conflict gives way to integrity. The line that separates my individuality from others fades. We become one. Practice and reflection. I find connection with others in community, often in worship. And all great spiritual traditions teach this. Breathe. Feel your connections. Today, the connection with creation, with the earth and the cosmos, may be the most difficult. We live in artificial, controlled environments that separate us from the natural world. More than human experience our world, we need to let go of controlling our world and allow ourselves to become one with it. We find ourselves when we lose ourselves. And then we connect, really connect. And when we do, it changes everything. May we be so engaged. May we be so loving. May we be so transformed. Earlier this week, the Bookmans at Ina and Thornydale announced that it would postpone and relocate its drag story hour scheduled for yesterday, March 25th, due to safety concerns. The event was designed to promote literacy among children and has been held in the past without incident. However, an organized harassment campaign launched by the Bridge Church and adopted by the local Proud Boys chapter targeted the event with calls on social media platforms to disrupt the event in large groups. This surge in harassment, combined with the recent bomb threat of another drag story hour event in Tempe, prompted Bookmans to postpone and relocate the event. The decision was not taken lightly, and Bookmans expressed disappointment that it was necessary to make changes to the event. Sean Feeney, the president of Bookmans Entertainment Exchange, emphasized that the decision was made solely to ensure the safety of the attendees, the performers, and the members of the community. He also acknowledged the overwhelming support it has received from Tucson community and expressed gratitude to everyone who has extended that support in person, via email, and phone calls. The incident highlights the risks faced by events that challenge traditional gender roles and norms. Postponement and the relocation of the Drag Story Hour event is a reminder that hate speech and harassment can have real-world consequences and pose a threat to the safety of those targeted. As a community, we must work together to oppose this trajectory of violence and hate and ensure that all members of our community can express themselves freely and safely. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. And I have to confess, it's really hard to feel this love at this moment. Right now, as hateful harassment and violence threatens our broader community's commitment to inclusion and diversity and solidarity, I'm not feeling the love. I feel outrage. I've read the internal communications and the public exultations on social media of those who feel they won the fight, winning by harassing and threatening children and drag queens, a bookstore, our community, in the name of God and country. How dare they? Have no doubt, Christian scriptures relate a God of love. Have no doubt that our American ideals prize the freedom of expression, and that denying these, the only thing that is winning is hate and fascism. My friend and interfaith colleague, the Reverend Bart Smith of St. Mark's Presbyterian here in Tucson, once told me that I do not have to always feel the love. He is such a good friend. We were on a dirt road out in the desert a few miles north of the border, facing down Border Patrol agents as they tried to intimidate the direct aid workers and the migrants at a No More Deaths camp where life-sustaining water and first aid and shelter was being given. In that 110-degree heat, Reverend Bart said, when someone is oppressing you, that is not the moment to love them. That's the time to stop them from oppressing you so that you can return to the love. And as he and I sweated it out in that silent but tense confrontation, I learned that there is a time where you must feel what's in your heart. You must. It's a means to set yourself apart from the oppression. It's the emotional fuel to get your heart and your mind free, so that when the moment ends, you can return to love. A love that holds me, even when I don't feel it. A love that holds me when I am enraged. a love that holds me when I am afraid. And so I sing those words. There is a love. Because I know in my heart that if I don't sing the words, if I don't set my own trajectory to return to love, then I will become like the oppressors. I will come to believe that what I feel is real, that my anger is righteous, and that my fear is justified. That the world is genuinely a terrifying place, haunted with frightening phantasms hiding under the bed or around the corner, or maybe in the local bookstore reading stories to children. And when my fears are not proven to be based in reality in any way, then by my anger I am virtuous in forcing others to live by them. That I am right to change the world to reflect what is in my heart by harassment and threats if need be. And so I sing. There is a love. As I do not want to go down that road. And make no mistake, I can go down that road. I can travel down it, and so can you. And as we are witnessing, a whole congregation of people can travel, forcing the world to reflect their fear and their anger. Because at this present time, the road is broad and wide, and it's an easy journey for us to take. It's open each and every day, smoothed by an individualism that values your opinion over any fact. It's paved by consumerism that turns all of your relationships into transactions. It's well marked, and it's lined with dividers and traffic lights which promote our separation and division and reject the truth that our safety, ultimately our safety, lies in our solidarity. This highway flows to a future that I fear. A future of fear, of anger, of hate, of violence, of destruction. And I refuse to go there. There is a love holding you. There is a love holding all that you love. There is a love holding all. You rest in this love. This is our final Sunday of our annual financial commitment campaign. It was probably not very obvious by the start of my sermon. In my passion, I almost forgot about it too. This then is the beginning of our final push to conclude our campaign by the end of this week. And as Debbie mentioned, we begin with gratitude then. Thank you to our 24 stewards who have reached out to over 125 individuals and couples and families, our members and friends and guests who generously pledge their financial support to our congregation. Your time reaching out and offering new relationships and renewing old ones is much appreciated. Thank you. To all of you who have already made your pledge, thank you. Our congregational administrator, Aaron Chadwell, reports that as of Friday, we have $89,150 pledged towards next year's budget. Thank you all for supporting our compensation, our building, our programming in the next church year. Thank you. Thank you to all of you who will be making your pledge as soon as possible this week. Aaron reports that we have 86 pledges still out there that we do expect to come in. And we estimate that right now, together, we have an opportunity to completely exceed the $182,000 total pledge for last year. We have pledge sheets here this morning. And there's a link online to print one out at home. And we invite you, thank you for making your pledge as soon as you can this week. Thank you. And finally, thank you to our 7-person core team who will be seeking out those who may have forgotten to make their pledge. Your persistence and your patience with those of us who have not yet pledged is very much appreciated, and thank you. To all of us, individuals, couples, families, members, friends, guests, those who have and those who have not, and those who cannot pledge. As our campaign concludes, get ready to receive. Get ready to receive. Get ready to receive the future. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. We have been gifted with a faith tradition, born out of Jewish and Christian scriptures and raised in the ideals of America. In the words we often attribute to the Reverend John Murray, who was a Universalist leader during the Revolutionary War, go out into the highways and the byways and give the people something of your new vision. You may possess a small light, but uncover it, let it shine. Use it in order to bring more light and understanding to the minds and to the hearts of all. Give them not hell, but hope and courage. Preach the kindness and everlasting love of God. In the over 200 years since Reverend Murray shared his vision of a radical, inclusive, countercultural love, we have acted on those teachings, gone out to the highways, and engaged those we have found there. And on our way, we discovered that this love is not just named in Christian scriptures, but is taught within all the great spiritual traditions and through the lives of many prophetic individuals. And we seek out then and welcome the many spiritual teachings about this love so that today we hear the voices of those on the highways and byways, facing down individualism, consumerism, and division with their vision of love. Like Brian Stevenson, lawyer and law professor, who created the Equal Justice Initiative to represent those wrongly accused and misrepresented in their criminal trials. Right now, presently, he is out in the world defending children 11 and 12 years old from being tried as adults, which 13 states continue to allow. In a 2022 interview, he reflected, that's what fear and anger will do. It will make you indifferent to the victimization of other people, hostile to correction and change, hostile to reform and justice, and make you complicit in creating the kind of society that we've seen too much of, where there's injustice and inequality. He goes on to say, you can't actually be loving and kind and good. Now, fear and anger are human. Our bodies in response to danger to ourselves and to others. And there's danger. So we feel it. We feel what is happening in our society, the inequality and inequity that happens every day. We feel it. what is occurring in our community, the injustice that we know, that you know. Personally, bring your fear, bring your anger. You come into this faith community. And once here, we invite you into a relationship beyond hostility, beyond complicity, to a love that holds me and holds you and holds us. It holds all that we fear. It holds all that we're enraged about, and it invites us to rest. And this is a spiritual path quite different than the one we find on that highway of individualism and consumerism and division. And it's not an easy path. It teaches that we can find truth, but we can only find it together. It teaches that we belong in community, a community that supports us in our resting and our healing, and it challenges us to grow. Like this faith community, where we build within the walls, solid and virtual, that love that we then must extend to those traversing the highways and byways that take us to destruction. Ours is a new road. Ours is a road forged by a faith community, not just for ourselves, but for all people everywhere, for those that you love, those that you fear, those that anger you. Yes, my Sabbath. It's my one day I set aside to rest and renew my relationships. If you haven't tried one, I absolutely recommend it. And yet tomorrow morning, in conversation with Stephanie, I will be breaking Sabbath, and I will be joining with interfaith leaders in the first meeting to plan a response to the hate and hostility behind the postponement of the drag story hour at Bookman's here in our neighborhood. And I will bring my fear. I will bring my anger. They will help me identify where the danger lies, but I will come with more. I will be there with love. It's what the Reverend Joanna Fontaine Crawford, who serves our congregation in Live Oak UU, Cedar Park, Texas, calls loving the hell out of the world. And that's our future. That's our future. Our future is loving the hell out of the world. Not by happenstance or out of hope or in reaction. Instead, it's one we're actively planning as a people of this faith. Because right now, our board of trustees are engaging in imagining this type of growth in areas far beyond our numerical success by pledges or by people. And to our board, thank you. Together, we are actively imagining the growth of each of us as Unitarian Universalists, the growth of our community as a place of connection and belonging, the growth of Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist as a part of our larger community, recognized as a congregation committed to justice through love. More of individual spiritual engagement, more relational belonging, more so many who desperately need love. Our financial campaign ends. Just get ready to receive. Get ready to receive all of this and even more than we can imagine. Because there is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all love. His thanks be for these, number 322 in the gray hymnal, and the words will be projected. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join your voices together.
Housekeeping details before we conclude our service today. Following today's service, about 10 minutes after the service concludes, there is a workshop going on about creating a charitable legacy. This is going to be conducted by Laura Mayer. Please stay after the service for that workshop in the Mesquite room. In addition to that, there's going to be a concert here at the church on April 16th with Jim Scott. Many of you may know him. He's been here before. Watch the newsletter and stay tuned for details about that. Our charity of the month is Primavera Foundation. Primavera provides pathways out of poverty through safe, affordable housing. History of commitment to Primavera. For many years, a group of congregants provided and prepared a monthly meal for the folks who are there. Please place your donations in the woven basket as you leave today. And of course, there's also that wooden bowl which supports the work of this church, keeping the lights on and the water flowing. Our closing words today, this is called Closing Words for Hard Times, and it's written by Maureen. We each have gifts that can make a difference in this world. In this coming week, may you do at least one thing to support the broken, to welcome the stranger, to celebrate what is worthy, and to do the work of justice and love. Be strong. Be connected. Each day, act so that you may be a little bit more whole.